razzle dazzle, we're the best. No, the courts aren't on your side, but they're not on the tenant side either.
Jen, like, you are independently wealthy when you are naked.
I am over treating property management the same as real estate sales.
I guess I'll lead the witness. I think it's freaking scammy.
Welcome to Hold It with PM Jen, the show for real estate investors who buy and hold forever and ever. Amen.
Happy holidays, holders. It's time for Hold It with PM Jen's holiday gift guide. So this is a bonus episode. You don't care. Me and my assistant really care whether this is season 2, season 3, bonus episode. But next week, season 3 starts. So this bonus episode, though, is coming to you the week of Thanksgiving, because I know what you're going to be doing. Shopping. Our Thanksgiving holiday, we just hang out with ourselves and our husbands and eat delicious food. And we do spend a lot of time on our phone shopping, don't we?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. So if this is what you're listening to this holiday week, Jesse and I are here to... Oh, I didn't introduce you, Jesse. Oh, I'm sorry. I always do this. Jesse is One Focus Property Management's Director of Operations and my one and only sister. Welcome back on the podcast.
Oh gosh, happy to be here.
I know you are. And as we're looking for holiday gifts this year, I thought I would put together a holiday gift guide for investors. So the people that we work for, right? Who this podcast is for, people who are out there in the streets, buying and holding properties. Jesse, you're an investor just like me. Is there anything on your wish list, your property manager wish list, your investor wish list, something you want this year?
Well, something really small, stocking stuffery that I always like to have, it cannot have too much of, is hand sanitizer. We got a little too much in 2020 and 2021. Everyone took a couple years to run their stocks, but we need it.
Yeah.
It's gross out there. Hand sanitizers, no property manager, investor, landlord will turn their nose up at some hand sanitizer.
Yeah. Lots of that kind of thing on the list this year. Well, I'm looking for more education. So I'm personally going to go to more events, that's what's on my list. So if Santa was actually reading my mind, I might get some registration fees paid for to send me to some conferences. So my wish list is broken up into 3 sections. I don't know if we're going to keep 100% to that or not here today. But the first thing I'm starting with is your starter pack as an investor. These are the things I think you need if you're getting started. Jesse, you haven't even seen this. So this is a travel key folio, and it is, first of all, locking, just like luggage. So you just put the zippers in the little holder here. It's like a luggage lock. And then on the inside, all the key tags attached by Velcro. So imagine if you had, like, this one holds, I guess, 24 keys. These also come in different sizes. Maybe you had one per building, and maybe you had a building up for sale. Maybe you're a realtor and you had to have
That would be
keys
so
for
impressive to
showings.
get handed at a closing.
If I ever got handed something like this at a closing, I would remember that forever. Realtors, if you're doing closing for investors, this is a inexpensive little gift you can get for them. Okay. What I'm going to show you next. Oh, wait. I put this on the list. This is a first aid kit for listeners to the podcast. I meet so many investors who are hurting themselves on the job because they're amateurs, right?
Well, typically.
Yeah.
And no one's ever prepared for basic first aid when they go to a maintenance call. Of course, all of our field staff, our maintenance technicians and administrative field staff, doesn't make any sense, but people who do a lot of field work, they're all equipped with those, because you step on glass, you get a nail in your hand, something, you need it. They're not that expensive.
Yeah.
They're easy to wrap up and put under the tree.
Yeah, you might be wondering, how do I find links to these things Jen's talking about? I put links in my showcase, which, let me see, there's going to be a link in the description to this podcast that will take you to something that you can then go to all these different product links. And just so you know, some of these will be affiliate links, which means I might make a commission on the sale at no extra cost to you, but many of them are not. So the next item I want to talk about is a foundational item to me as an investor, and I wish I would have found it long ago. And it is this. It is a big, bulky clipboard. Mine is old and covered in political stickers, but I like it because you open it up and there's room inside for a whole bunch of stuff, including I carry key tags. So like if somebody gives me keys on a property, I like can label them right away. I've got pens and pencils. I've got flashlight. I got all the stuff I need. So this
Tape measure.
yeah, this clipboard just stays ready in my vehicle. So I could get a call. I don't know what I'm going to be doing, where I'm going to be going. This is kind of my like doctor's black bag.
Mm-hmm.
So inside the clipboard, I think the clipboard is absolutely crucial. I have got a bunch of stuff. Jesse was laughing at this.
I wasn't laughing. I just have never seen them before.
Yeah. So I've been carrying silicone shoe covers in my car for a while, but I'm not suggesting you get the ones that I've been covering. Instead, get these ones that I just got because they've got a zipper, y'all. And
Way better.
yeah, like, and if I just wore like sneakers or ballet flats, the ones without the zipper work fine, but I have big feet. I wear cowboy boots and I wear heels and all kinds of stuff. And so I love to have these in my kit because I have to go into the basement when the septic's backed up. I have to walk through like a marshy yard. And so, or like there'll be an infestation. Sometimes there'll be like a bug infestation. Sometimes the floors are just sticky. And so, like,
Other times you're going into occupied people's homes and it's their preference to either take off your shoes or wear shoe coverings. And I don't go shoeless in strangers' homes.
yeah, I don't take my shoes off in strangers' homes either. So when people ask me for that, I'll go grab the shoe covers and say, no problem, I'll wear the shoe covers. And what I like about the silicone ones is you can throw them in the dishwasher because if they truly are gross, then they need to get cleaned because, they're reusable. So if you gave an investor friendly shoe covers, it would say, I see you. I know what kind of gross stuff you're up to. Jesse,
Whatty?
do you know what this is?
I sure do.
What is it?
It's a moisture meter.
Oh my gosh, of course she knows. So I think in any investor's basic kit of goodies, they should have a couple of tools. One is this moisture meter. Now, moisture meters come, yeah, that's the box. They come in either pinned or no pins. I think you should have no pins for this one because often investors are looking at properties where they shouldn't be disturbing things, right?
Sure.
I love the moisture meter, right? To like check and make sure, are things dry? Say you had though, like a flood in a unit and you need to see how far the water went under the laminated floor or something, or you had a leak and wanted to know how much wall was affected. This really helps shortcut that trial and error process. So inexpensive item. I think an investor would be really well served to carry this with them. Now, the one I'm suggesting does not look like this one. You actually can't get this one reliably anymore, but a thermal imaging cam. I love this one because it fits in my clipboard so well. But a thermal imaging cam is really useful when you're checking out properties or you're getting weird complaints. Have you ever been able to solve a problem with a thermal imaging cam?
Well, we found bees nests in walls. They create a lot of warmth inside the walls, and we've seen how far they go and that it truly was a professional issue. That is the main reason we use them, is to find those heat creating pests.
Yeah. So like looking at a wall, you can see, like she said, the temperature difference, which could indicate a pet infestation. You could see air leaks, water leaks, anything like that. And that, just listen, wouldn't it be great to have the information to know shortcut, what is this issue? You don't have to wait for a contractor to come out or something like that. Also in the bag of tricks, and I didn't take these out because I haven't unpacked them yet. They might end up in your stocking, Jesse. I have a voltage meter and an outlet tester. Jesse knows how to use these. We're always using these in properties. But yeah, you want to see when wiring is hot, where it's not, and you want to know if GFCIs are working. This is basic stuff, guys, that you don't need a property inspector to do. This is one.
And these run the gamut.
Yeah.
You can get really expensive ones. You can get pretty cheapos. These are the ones that Jen's recommending, just like stocking stuffer style, and it'll help troubleshoot whether you have an electrical issue,
Yeah.
or if you have a more DIY or electrical issue that you could troubleshoot and solve yourself.
Yeah, I think you should spend as much money on these devices as you have expertise in knowing what to do with the information. So if you don't have a lot of expertise in what to do with the information, cheap is fine. You're just seeing, is there a problem? Is there no problem? It lets you do a little bit independently.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't seen this yet. This is the flashlight to end off flashlights. So this flashlight,
I have my cell phone. It has a light on it. That's all I need.
Oh no, Jesse, you don't know. First of all, you can't tell on the podcast, but it's bright green. It does come in a couple different colors. I like the bright green. So first of all, be honest, it's heavy. It's a hosser.
Yeah, it's got some heft to it.
It's a personal protection device, first and foremost. Whack. What if I caught you across the bridge in the nose with this thing? You would be screaming for your mother.
You'd be screaming for your mother. It's also my mother. You hit me with that thing.
This
Because we don't hit people in the face.
It's a flashlight okay? It also has different functions. Oh, wait. Black light.
Gross. Use at your own risk.
Imagine, though, I need to go and use a black light in a property. Why would you use a black light?
To find where there may be bio issues, if you will.
So, yeah, like organic matter like feces and urine will show up very bright under a black light. And so black lights are very useful in the investment business to know where the source of the stink is coming from. So maybe it's a vacant property and you're like, wow, the pet smell in here is just really bad.
Right.
Wish we knew where all of that mess happened. The light, right? Another thing you can do with this is look at for pet infestation. So if you had like mice or rats, they also the pee and the poop. You can see it with the black light.
Little trail.
Yeah. The other thing I love about this flashlight is you have two options about how to power it. So everybody loves a rechargeable something, except me. This clipboard with this flashlight sits in my car all day and night. I'm not thinking about when to recharge this thing. I have the option to use batteries, which is my favorite for stuff that needs to be in the property kit. For in my home, recharge the battery, who cares? But in my travel kit, I want it to be both. So I think this is tremendous, and many landlords are going to be really appreciative of having that black light function. Well, listen, we're going to move on then to a couple of softwares, guys. I think for investors starting out, there's two different softwares we need to be thinking about. The first, I just put you on, and I just did it this year for the first time. Delete.me. So when you are an investor, you are getting a lot of calls, right? Your information's out there and people are trying to get a hold of you for all kinds of things. And you often can be a target for scams, harassment, whatever. I have had some conversations with my insurance guys, doing different things. And we've decided that it's really important to make it more difficult to find my personal information and that of my family and team online. And so I'm encouraging anybody, I think this is like for anybody, but investors should be thinking about this. Delete.me is a service that will go out, find your information that these data brokers have, and do the admin process of getting it taken off. It's something, by the way, that you could do for free. It just takes hours and hours and hours of labor, and you don't know these processes, so they make that really easy. The other and use the link in the guide, the showcase to get there. I don't think there's a deal for Delete Me right now. So just
You do have one. Please let me know.
yeah, if you do one, let me know. LastPass is offering a deal though, guys, until the end of the month. I believe it's the end of the month. They're doing tremendous sales on their plans. LastPass is a password manager. Why do you like LastPass? Why am I suggesting it to investors?
Well, you get tons of passwords in your everyday life. But folks who invest in real estate, who landlord for a living, you get even more. Just imagine all the different accounts that you have for your personal home, your personal life, and then multiply that by every property you get, every tenant you manage. And it's just a lot of passwords, and you keep them in any manner of insecure ways.
Post-its, making them all the same password.
Really, really, really dangerous ways of keeping your passwords available to you. So LastPass is an app. It's a resource that we all use here at OneFocus, and that I used personally prior to working here to help manage my passwords. And it's just a secure place in the vault of sorts to keep them. And as you expand your team, maybe to family or friends, or however you're going to expand your team to help you with your investments, it gives you a way to share access to your account without providing them the password. And in the event of a breach of confidence or something, you just have to shut down LastPass, and they no longer have access to anything they had a password for access to. So it helps both personally me keep track of my own passwords, keep the highest security passwords with all, the crazy ones, with all the characters and caps and uncaps and whatnot. I have highly secure passwords. It tracks them all for me. It suggests and replaces them for me when need be. And it also gives me a score. I love to be scored because I love to be the best.
Well, you do like to be the best. Yeah.
So it also gives me a cybersecurity score, and it lets me know that I'm doing everything I can with my password management to keep my online presence and access as secure as possible.
Yeah.
That's what I use.
That's one of my favorite parts about LastPass is the security score, because like Jesse said, we have the whole team on this here, right? This is how we're managing the company's passwords. And so it's a KPI measurement for all of our team to keep above a certain security score, which makes me feel better, because before we did that, we did have some folks kind of opting out, and we are sharing passwords. So imagine like a shared Google account for the company. Maybe we have a YouTube account. Many people need to be able to log in and out of that, but I want no one else to know the actual password. And so we are keeping everything really, really clean and controlled that way. And I think for any investor, password management is a great basic, like financial hygiene to work on in today's internet age, for sure. Jesse, I forgot, we just took a little break there. Delete me if you use my link, you actually get 20% off your plan. So do use that link. All right, guys, we're moving on to tricks of the trade. These are some of our best tricks, the things we here at OneFocus are using every single day to try to handle problems. And some of the stinkiest problems need this suggestion.
Odor Ghost.
Odor Ghost what is it?
Well, it's, I believe, an enzyme-based liquid, and it is applied to surfaces that you believe are the source of the stink. Feel free to use your UV, your black light to find the source of the stink. It could be mold, garbage, diapers, urine, feces.
All your bio stinks, not your cigarette or smoke.
Correct. It is not incredibly ineffective at smoke, but it's not what it was created for, and we haven't tested it wildly and openly on smoke. So this product is sold by the gallon, and
it's also, by the way, sold by the 55-gallon drum.
But it sounds like you got too big of a stink problem. So we use this, and you apply it full strength in a pump sprayer, just like that.
You would pour it direct from there into a sprayer like this. By the way, this is also on the wish list. Do not give people the Odor Ghost without the sprayer.
Useless without a pump sprayer. You apply it to wherever the source of the stink is, most often floors, baseboards, wherever a pet or a human would be urinating. And it's most often sold by flooring companies and things like that. We learned about it from our flooring guy that we use all the time. And he got this and he tried something. And this has solved so many problems for me.
Yeah.
This, when applied full strength and you let it dry, it dries with no white haze, no film, no nothing. And that's it. You apply and let it dry, and it really truly works. And
so what you need to know is when you go to buy it, likely at tools4flooring.com, that's the link I'm giving you. It's going to come in a white round gallon with a purple label.
Changed.
It changed. And if you look at the flyers and stuff, I have this is just what we had here because we have a stock of it. We use it. Trax Corporation makes it. Look for it at flooring distributors, like flooring product distributors. And keep an eye on Trax Corporation because they told me in December they're launching Smoke Ghost. So that is a formula specially formulated against smoke. Guys, if you've got stinky properties, the cat smells, the animal, this is the stuff. We've been doing about a quart per room is the amount we've
For your
needed to
ordinary
use.
bedroom, living room, that's about how much the coverage is when applied with a light mist on the flooring and baseboards.
Couple of things that I saw written when I searched Odor Ghost in our internal chat. I saw Odor Ghost for the win, Odor Ghost for Prez, need more Odor Ghost now. So we love Odor Ghost. Speaking of stinks, right? Odor Ghost is great for really hitting it hard, but sometimes you have to kind of touch up a little bit. That's what I think an ozone machine is good for. What do you think an ozone machine is good for?
Maybe the source of the stink isn't on a surface, it's in the air.
Yeah.
It's in the air. Think pet dander, smoke. When something, God forbid, when the fridge, real foul nastiness. Think about just residual pet smell, pet funk, and any place where there were like diapers for a long time where the scent isn't living on a surface.
It's in the air.
You have an ozone machine.
Yeah, ozone machines are great. This is our well-loved ozone machine. It's dirty. It's stored in the garage. We use it a lot. This size and the one I'm recommending does really well for apartments. For larger homes, I don't think you need to buy a bigger one. I think you need to lock off the part of the home that's stinky and do this, or use more than one if you're going to do the whole home. This is a great gift for an investor who is struggling, right? Maybe they do Airbnbs. Sometimes somebody stayed in an Airbnb for like a week or two and the smell of their cooking or their perfumes are just in the air. Hospitality, hotels and whatnot, making use of ozone machines forever. They're actually really super affordable. And I think they'd be part of any investor's toolkit. Speaking of tools that you love, you've put 7 of these in attics this year. Tell us about the Transonic Pro from 𝐵𝐵d_X.
I call it my bat machine. There's a bat setting on it. So here in North Central PA, we are plagued with those flying rodents, bats, and they end up in attics most often. They're normally not in your regular living space. They end up in the attics. They can fit through a thumbnail size hole and they just seek out warmth and security just like any other rodent. And they can be very expensive to get rid of because they're protected. So any licensed contractors, any pest control companies, they are prohibited in our state from killing them, from poisoning them, from eradicating them like you would an ordinary rodent or insect population. So the name of the game is to draw them out of the house or make it too uncomfortable for them in the house, and then kind of seal up any ways that they were getting in. In the old homes we manage, that can be very, very difficult to seal up thumb-sized holes. There's a lot of holes, bigger than thumbnails in there.
Yeah.
So you may have heard a lot about these ultrasonic pest repellents, pest deterrents, and I had no real experience with them. And it's kind of, I don't even remember how I stumbled upon it, but I stumbled upon 𝐵𝐵d_X is the brand, 𝐵𝐵d_X, and they make a very affordable ultrasonic device that repels or deters all kinds of pests. And there's different settings to it, and it emits different levels of frequencies and different volumes of sounds, depending on the pest. It's like literally a setting on back. And I don't know why it works. I choose not to question it. But everywhere we place these, the bats have not returned. And they cover up to 3,500 square feet. That is a lot of space. So they really work on the bat setting. You can audibly hear it when you're in the attic, but it's not a disturbance to the tenants downstairs or anything like that. And it only requires a ordinary electrical receptacle. So there does have to be an electrical receptacle in the attic. and it just emits a frequency and a sound that bats apparently hate.
Yeah.
And it's very, very affordable and should be, at the very least, your first shot at eradicating bats and other pests. We use it for pigeons too. Although for not for birds, it is a louder volume.
I see. So why this is so important? You're like, why do we have to be worried so much about bats in the attic? Because when they're in there, the colony is going to grow by 100% every year. So it's doubling every year, which if you've ever done that math problem, that's it gets scary really fast, which is going to create guano, and they're going to get in the chases and they're going to get into the finished areas. And when a bat is in contact with a human, if it touches it or you're unsure if you've been touched, guess what happens next?
The only treatment that medical staff will recommend to you and perform on you are rabies treatments.
So that is why we care about the bats in the attic. And it's very expensive to properly deal with the bats and to have the HEPA filter solution of all the guano. So if we can stop them, we can identify, hey, we've got a bat problem starting, and we can quickly seal up any spots and use the 𝐸 Transonic Pro, we're doing really well. Now listen.
Well, you would do it in the opposite order. You'd use the Transonic, you would get them out of there and then seal it up. It's also about the size of a small shoebox. It's not very big at all,
Yeah.
so it takes up very little space. It's very portable.
And so as far as getting these, you can get them on Amazon from time to time at various different prices. 𝐸 does not want to compete with their resellers. So if you go to 𝐸's site, you're going to see it listed for about $150. And by the way, I don't think that's a bad price for this sort of a device. But you can pretty reliably get them for about $35 and some change on Amazon. Right now, you cannot find one. You can buy a package of 2 for $70. So if you've got 2 places with bats, that's a great deal. But if you use my code with 𝐸, go on there and use code PMGen, they will honor, I think it's like $35 and some odd cents for one of these things.
Buy them up.
Buy them.
Buy it just in case, and you'll find a reason to use it.
I got to tell you, property management companies should be thinking about this. I've been thinking about it up here. Like in my building, should I just throw one in the attic just for $35? I have less than 3,500 square feet up there. I'd love to keep any manner of anything from trying to break in. So that is a really insightful gift, particularly if your investor friend has been battling bats.
You know what's better than building generational wealth? Not a damn thing. And obviously the best way to do that is through buy and hold real estate. But let's be real, managing your properties yourself, that's a one-way ticket to burnout. This is supposed to be an investment, not a burden. At One Focus Property Management, we don't just manage your properties, we make buy and hold real estate actually work. We handle everything: tenant screening, maintenance, rent collection, you name it. All you do is watch your portfolio and net worth grow. We make sure you never even think about quitting real estate investing, because the secret to buy and hold is to hold it for a very long time. And you can't do that when you sell every time you have a problem. We're the biggest, baddest property management team in Lycoming, Clinton, Northumberland, Montour, and Columbia counties. And we do it all to give you more protection, less work, and absolutely no drama. So let's turn your rental properties into wealth-building machines. Learn more at onefocus.pm.com. That's onefocus.pm.com.
Moving on to other things that are going to solve problems. I didn't think I was going to have to tell investors about the shackle box, but it seems like investors have not learned that for about $20, you can very affordably get a secure box, 4 tumbler numbers. You get to set your own large compartment to put things in. Stop, for God's sakes, putting the keys
Knock it off.
in the mailbox, under the mat. $20. So listen, if you know an investor, they can always use a shackle box. This is a great stocking stuffer, very substantial. The one I'm recommending because it is a great size, great reviews, and great price point. I've also listed, if you want to spend a little bit more cheddar and really make the investor's dreams come true, get him the multi-pack. I've been buying the multi-pack.
Never need one.
No. And by the way, guys, these are to some degree like disposable, right? So especially if this were out in the elements for years, it's going to seize. They disappear. They break. they're not worth fixing. So to some degree, there's attrition. I buy them in packs of 24 to 50. The price point there is much better. And the ones I recommended and the links for lion locks, I like because you can get them at different colors. Everybody makes them in black and gray. They're almost impossible to see. And for my purposes, I'm sending people out to properties all the time. I want that thing to be painted fluorescent green. Like, this is how you get in. Stop wasting time. So this is the one I'm recommending, but you'll see there's
Tell
two.
people, look for the lime green lockbox, look for the hot pink lockbox. And when they're driving down the road, they see it hanging on the doorknob. Speaking of doorknobs,
Guys,
it requires a doorknob to hang it on.
so the shackle box is great if you have a normal doorknob or like the kind of handle that's like a loop, right? Like a closed loop. Because
A little thumb tab.
yeah, the thumb tab. So you can put that shackle right through, easy peasy, it hangs there. But modern, contemporary people have been installing the property manager's nightmare,
The lever.
the lever doorknob. And we have been here literally when we need to shackle box a property that has a lever doorknob. We've been taking and replacing the doorknob with a non-lever, using the shackle and then unshackling it.
We've had to shackle things to tree branches before because there was no suitable place to shackle something to.
So guys,
It was a long time.
the Lockbox Buddy is solving this problem. It's at lockboxbuddy.com. The link I'm giving it to you is on Amazon because, of course, it's free shipping for Prime members. So this is how it works, right? You have two holes here for different size levered things. We put it over the levered handle, secure it there, shackle box through, hanging, making that now able to securely be used on a levered system. Guys, you know a realtor, you know an investor, you know a property manager. This is a fairly new invention. When I found this and sent this to my team, they went gaga and ordered like 5 of them. This solves so many problems for us. It's part of our kit. Get this for your realtor friends, property managers, or investors. I think this is just like somebody will be freaking delighted and will really feel seen if they get this on Christmas morning. One of the last items in the tricks of the trade, you're going to say, only you, Jen, would suggest parking violation stickers as a holiday gift. And I am. I am doing this because, one, we keep them here at the office and you need them occasionally, right? People drop cars on your property. They park inappropriately. They make problems with their cars on your property. And you are called as the landlord to do something about it. And you're like, how the heck am I going to get this person to do whatever?
I don't know who that is or whose car that is. How am I going to leave them in a Post-it note under the windshield wiper? No, you're not.
You're going to use this sticker. They're very affordable. Have them in your little kit in your car because when you're out on your properties, you're going to see problems. What I love about these, it says it right on the package. It's a peel-off sticker. The whole thing's a sticker. So you can fill it out any way you want. You can put your contact information or not. You peel it off. The whole back peels off. You stick it. Here's the thing. Don't be polite. Where do we stick it? We put it on the windshield right where you need to look through. And if you let it sit for at least a minute or two, you're going to need a scraper to get that off.
Right.
And that is what gets you heard. You could be maybe nice and put it on the driver's side door.
Instead of I was put a driver's side window for first seat.
For a first warning, but for a second warning, right where the driver has to look through the windshield.
Get that far. Otherwise, just follow through on whatever threat
you made. So that is an idea I have for you. Now, listen, this bonus episode is giving you all the deals. You're going to hear about this more in the beginning of season 3. We talk a lot about hiring remote team members, virtual assistants, people from around the world in your investment business. This is what lets you scale from 30 doors to 100 doors. So there's 2 different deals I'm offering you, and somebody's really going to have to love you to get you this first one. If you know somebody or it's time for you to make that commitment into getting a remote team member in your business, go to betterwho.com. Better Who is owned by property managers in the industry. They've been placing people in investment businesses, property management companies, small entrepreneurial companies for years. We're using them here and having a good experience. And my code PMGen will get you $500 off that initial placement fee, which is significant. That is a great savings. I really worked hard to get those holiday savings for you. I hope you'll explore that and listen more my interview with Jay and how we do all this. You'll want to consider that. And if you do have an RTM or you do need to send money around the world, that can be really intimidating. In fact, we didn't direct hire our remote team members for years because I wasn't confident in my ability to send my money here in the States to the Philippines, in our case, which is where our RTMs are, quickly, safely, and cheaply. I was like, this is a full nightmare. And when I started direct hiring, I used WISE, WISE.com. And it is so freaking easy. I have a friend here locally. He has remote team members all over the world, like in all different regions. And so I was like, how are you paying all these people? He's like, oh, I just do it on WISE. And he just like you just load US money in, and then I send money. It is secure. It is inexpensive. It's fast. The first transfer or two can be a little slow, just kind of like for safety. But then after that, it is same day and immediate. And if you use my link, you can make your first transfer fee free. The last part of my gift guide is all about books and education and things that can help you build your investor skills. And the first one I'm going to suggest to you, Professor Mallory Mahan has a school, Inspire Wealth and Education, and she is doing a real estate investment 101 class. And I am so happy to recommend to anyone you know that you take that. It is very affordable for people who want to get into investing and want to get really good information, not scams, not fly-by-night schemes. This is Penn State professor Mallory Mahan. She's an attorney, an MBA, investor, a very smart cookie. I love working with her, and I'm so happy to recommend her classes. She is a local person, but these are delivered online, so you can do them easily. This is a great gift for somebody in your life, and you can feel confident you're not turning them on to something that's scammy.
See some quack.
Guys, you're going to think this is not anything, but this is really cool. This is my friend, Jeremy Pound. He has a company called RentScale. And a couple of years ago, he developed this. It's flashcards, but it's also a card game. And so the cards come, like, again, buy them at the link that I've suggested there. Each flashcard has like a term on it, like master lease agreement, capital accumulation, short-term rental, and the definitions on the back. So I'm a flashcard person. I love learning with flashcards, but additionally, you can actually play this as a game. So he's got rules of the game on here. I imagine if you had like kids who were into learning about this stuff, or you were in an investment club, I do these a lot for giveaways at my speaking engagements. People love these. This is a great stocking stuffer for somebody who's interested in real estate investment. I think it's a really smart one. And if you want to be seen as a little bit more fun than flashcards, I mean, what could be more fun than flashcards?
Imagine.
Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad author, made this game cash flow. So this is, like a Monopoly, but is very much made to teach you the principles of real estate investing. And so this is great if you have kids. So it says 14 plus for 2 to 6 players. I've only done this with adults. I don't have any kids in my life. Wah, wah. But I do know that real estate investment clubs, conferences, and I believe even like Prof M is doing some stuff with her students in this, like doing tournaments and things like that. A really fun game giveaway item for your investor friends. Now let's talk about a couple of books. The Rich Dad, Poor Dad Classics collection. So most investors have read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, although some of our younger investors don't recognize that anymore. It's like when I say Susie Orman in college classrooms and they look at me like I'm crazy. So Rich Dad, Poor Dad is the one most people have heard of, but 2 other books make his like canon, right? And that is The Cash Flow Quadrant and Rich Dad's Guide to Investing. This is just a really great set to give anybody who's interested in real estate investment. They will really value that. A couple other books I'm going to suggest for your investor friends. If they're interested in short-term rentals, this one, Vacation Rentals, The Ultimate Guide, was written by my friend, Christina Vandergrift. I really appreciate about this book that this is about a market that is smaller than like a Class A, first class city. It's not about Phoenix or Dallas. This is about North Central Pennsylvania. She's actually based in Wellsboro, the northern tier there. And she's made a very successful short-term rental business, short-term property management business, a cleaning business. This girl has a lot of businesses. This is, I think, the book to get somebody, particularly if they're in an area like ours and are interested in short-term rental. I think it's a great guide to getting started. Now, I did my first book review this year on The Self-Managing Landlord by 𝐸𝐭 and Grace Gudenkoff, and I am recommending it on the holiday gift guide this year. There are many books on how to manage your own properties, and many of them are similar or the same. This one is a little different in that it's written by two young women, and I find it to be really transparent about the errors and mistakes that they've made. I think they're really humble in how they admit some of the things that they've done or thought or misdirections they took, and I just really appreciated that it was super realistic. I think this is great, especially if you know a woman trying to get into this. Don't give them a book written by a man. That can be a little hard. Give them one written by a woman. Speaking of people I know David Krulak. He's a really cool guy. And he wrote this book, How I Started with Nothing and Made 12 million in real estate part-time. And the real estate lessons I learned. What I love about this is literally every chapter is a different deal. And he kind of takes you through his career and tells you like how he found the property, lessons he learned, what he put into it, what he got out of it. And there is like, I mean, there's manufactured homes, there's lots, there's sub-2 deals, there's foreclosures, tax sales, farm subdivisions. I mean, this guy has done it all. And he speaks at conventions and things like that. He's from the Lancaster area. I love this book by him. And this is one that if you gave it to an investor, I think they would spend the rest of Christmas just going through this book, reading all of these different stories. So it's not like a big fat textbook. It's like something you can drop in. And the other thing I love about this, and Jesse's like, you've talked way too much about this book. But in the back, there's an index. So like maybe I peruse it, right? And then in 6 months, I'm looking at a tax sale deal. And I go, oh, what if David did any of those? I can go to tax sale, look up the stories that pertain to that and go see them. Like, I think that's really, really smart. Now,
It's just set up way different than any other investor's memoirs that you may have read. And it's kind of easy reading, not elementary, but it's easy to take in the different stories and learn from it.
yeah.
And there's pictures.
And there's pictures. Yeah. And I just,
Therefore, it's not made up.
and I think what I like about it is there are no books written about our region and like the kinds of towns we're in, which is why I'm so attracted to David's book, to Christina's book. If you are doing things in Phoenix, there's a lot of books out there that are going to resonate with your life and your abilities. The last item on my holiday gift guide this year is this book, Who Not How. I keep a stack of these. Now, to be clear, I buy them used. I buy them used, so they're old library copies.
Full disclosure.
Yeah, full disclosure. But I meet investors every day who are at the brink of, like, they've had some success on their own, right? And they're calling us because they want to take it to the next level or they're not enjoying the balance of work that they have. Who Not How is about growing your business, growing things, and that the first question shouldn't be, how do I do this? But who can I go to that can help me get there? And so often for people, I think the property manager is the who that they're looking for instead of
Right.
the how. You can look at this book I recommended, The Self-Managing Landlord. That's the how method. And using RTMs in your business, that's the how method. Who is coming to somebody like One Focus and getting some expert guidance. And so this book is one I send people who are at that point. And I go, listen, I'm not here to tell you that the best thing for you to do is to hire One Focus, but I am telling you this is a way as an answer, a solution to what you're looking for. And this book, if it hits with them, it gets them to that next point. And so I think when it comes to investors trying to grow something or any kind of small business person, Who Not How's great. When it comes to Dan Sullivan, who's the author of the book, and his co-author, Dr. Benjamin Hardy, I highly recommend the Audible version, the audio book, because at the end of each chapter, Dan and Ben talk, and it's kind of like a mini podcast, and it just is so much deeper and so much more. Jesse, we're at the end of our podcast here today. I'd be remiss if I didn't put a plug in for One Focus. I mean, I suppose you could always treat yourself to the gift of a stress-free, no drama 2026 by calling One
Or you
Focus.
can pick somebody's property management tab up for the first year if you see them struggling. All good options.
So what's your favorite item we've talked about on the holiday gift guide so far?
I do think it's easy to see when we talk about Odor Ghost and that bat machine that I just get excited. I feel like I've unlocked something with those two things.
You really have. And you were on a maintenance panel like 2 weeks ago. It was for the industry, so it was for property managers. And Jesse started talking very casually about Odor Ghost and how well it worked. And the chat lit up with like,
Lost their minds.
need a link, can't find, because Jesse was talking about the black bottle. She didn't know they changed the bottle because she had bought plenty and hadn't bought in a minute. And so people were like, I could only find a white bottle and this, that, and the other. So I do think that and the back box are really, really cool. I love the lockbox, buddy. It is, I have to tell you, I would, if I didn't find this myself and you had found it and put it in my stocking and like we were on Christmas morning because we open up our stockings together, we're, a family, and I would run and scream around the house about this. I really would. My husband would give me diamond earrings. I would run and scream. I would run and scream about this lockbox, buddy. And I think, like, if I wanted to be friends with every realtor in town, I would buy these in bulk and hand them out.
It hasn't even been a week since I saw a realtor lockbox on a lever doorknob with just the shackle.
And I'm not interested in the shackle box being slipped off of the lever handle and taken back to the criminal's den to be cracked open.
I think it was last Monday was the last time I saw one improperly used.
Yeah. I saw the same one.
I know you did.
All right. That brings this podcast to a close. Season 3 starts next week. Guys, go buy gifts for your investor friends. Let them know you love them. And until we see each other again, I want you to promise me, don't sell any properties. Buy and hold forever and ever. Amen.